It's to the point, I'm the artist I always wanted to be when I was in high school. I can do all that cool stuff, and now, hey, I get to share it with the next kid who wants to learn how to do that. So there's that. Why did I want to become an art teacher? There are a lot of different reasons for that. First and foremost, probably, I love the subject, and I love working with my hands, and I love being able to play around and do those type of things. And, you know, while the art world, you know, there are still jobs that you can get out there. It is very kind of cutthroat, I guess you could call it. And, you know, this is the very happy area to be. And I had several wonderful teachers, of course. Why Granite City High School? I actually student taught here 10 years ago under Mrs. Kopsky, and my experience was nothing but pleasant. And right after that, though, I actually was hired at my my old school district, which was Edwardsville, but that unfortunately was right in time for the 2008 economy crash, and that took a lot of teachers with it. And so around that time, it had been it's been approaching about 8 years since the economy crashed. Things are starting to look better, and I actually was in a show with Mark Lull. He's one of the principals at one of the elementary schools, I believe Maryville, and he got to talking to me. I got to know him. I also got to know Chuck Nowd, who is one of the band teachers, and we got to talking, and I found out I had been an art teacher, and they're like, hey, Patty Kopsky is planning on retiring, and it's just like, Patty Kopsky? I student taught under her, so it just seemed like a great fit. So I was able to talk to a lot of people and get a lot of info. And then now that I'm here, just the atmosphere here is so much more pleasant than I'm used to. And so far, I haven't had really any negative experiences at all. So really, it's kind of just what happened, but oh my gosh, I'm so glad it did. For students who want to take art, practice, practice, practice. I know that is a little redundant, but when you're in a music class, like singing, like for choir, how do you learn how to sing? You sing. Same thing with instruments, you know. Drawing and art is much the same, and so for students who want to take art and want to learn art, well, a lot of that is practice. I can show you all the tips, tricks, and little quirks here and there to help you get better, but ultimately, those end results that I wanted to see when I was younger to get to be that artist, you know, it took 10 plus years, a college education, and then further education in like graphic design and stuff like that to be able to get to that level. So, you know, always be practicing, but also never lose that creativity that you have. I mean, a lot of students now, especially some of the ones who really are into it, they come and talk to me about comic book characters that they're designing, and I was the same way when I was in high school. Heck, I still do that in my own free time. So don't give up that creativity, don't give up those dreams. Sure, they might not be, you know, you ever get published in comic book material, but we still have them. And that's a good thing, it keeps us moving. Now I get to teach students all over how to draw things that I learned in like how to draw Marvel superheroes. A lot of it, I'll say, it is kind of a stress relief for me, in that that's kind of like my go-to place of zen. And, you know, I'm actively working on something with my hands and making a finished product. I mean, if you look around the room here, there's video games and silliness references everywhere. But at the same time, with art, I am making something. I am producing a work, and that's one of the reasons I keep going with that. And as for artists who inspire me, goodness, that is a hard, that's a bit like trying to take a small drink from a fire hose. That's just, I get inspiration from even like the smallest of things in art. You know, even a music lyric can make me think of an image in my head that, hey, then let's go play with this. I work so I can play, mostly. Work gets in the way of playtime. You know, I love video games and still do, and that inspires a lot of artwork as well. So, you know, a lot of times I'll make like silly stuff that, you know, to enhance things or just enhance my enjoyment of things. I build a lot of model kits and collect like a lot of robot figurines and stuff like that. So I probably have more Transformers than like an 11-year-old kid in Japan. And so I'm admitting that on camera now. Uh-oh. And I do love theater, and I've been in several performances. I did it all throughout high school. I didn't get to do it so much in college because then you're going up against theater students who are specifically going to school for that. But I did get in some shows there too, just to kind of show that, you know, I didn't stop because I wanted to. I stopped because I kind of had to. My focus had to be elsewhere. But after a while, I started looking at more of the local groups like Curtains Up Theater Company and Alfresco Arts Center, and I've just kept rolling and rolling and rolling with that, and I've had so much fun with it, and I get to meet a lot of people. And again, that's how I met Principal Lull and other folks like that, and it's just, I have so much fun.